I'm wearing my jacket, but boss said I'm still too cold. Man, I fucked your bitch, she felt that from her head to toes. I need this guap, I couldn't care about my wrist and froze. Tryna hit that belly like home, and now your girlfriend wanna whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Stay in Place, the podcast. We're back with episode 11. This is a Euro special. We're back after a short break. Obviously, the Premier League season was over, but we decided to come up with a quick, small special show on the Euros. And yeah, Jojo, how are you?
Yeah, after that disappointing evening. But I'm good, man. Today I woke up good, but yeah, Euros was
I
very
feel like it's so far it's been a really good summer, but obviously,
no.
because of Sunday's like disappointment, we're just like, yeah, not having a great time at the moment. But in terms of talking points on today's show, I mean, there's only one place to start. Obviously Sunday's disappointment. Obviously, the whole nation was watching the game, seeing as it was in our beloved London. Wembley. So yeah, like what's your like overall thoughts and feelings regarding the final that took place on Sunday? Obviously, it literally just has like sunk in. I literally like weren't in a good state yesterday. And it's like already been 2 days, so I've really just got back to myself. But yeah, how are you feeling about the final? Obviously, there's like a lot to talk about. So yeah.
Let's get straight into it, man. I'll just get straight into the game itself. Yeah, obviously it's very disappointing. Like the guys did really well, definitely to get to the final this year and everything. I feel like Gareth Southgate did really well. Like he probably went with a team where with Phillips and Declan Rice wasn't really none of us was really expecting that, but it worked. You get me? It wasn't really right football to watch on the eye, but it worked and it got us to the final, and we were literally just kicks away from winning it. But in terms of the final as a whole, I would say what a great start, your boy Roberto Shaw.
Roberto Shaw, people who hated and people who said, "What are you talking about? Where are you now? Where are you guys at now? Come out of your hiding places right now." Because I did say this from the get-go. I said Luke Roberto. Yeah.
They were trying to compare Tierney.
I put this out there, and you had Arsenal fans comparing him to Kieran Tierney. This Kieran Tierney guy, do you think he's anywhere near Luke Shaw? Luke Shaw's not even at his peak yet.
But yeah, no, Luke Shaw had a very good tournament, definitely. But yeah, it was such a quick early goal. And looking back at it now, it was such a very good goal. That's how you understand now why he played the wing back, was from Trippier to Shaw, literally. And even remember when the move actually happened, I felt because obviously Maguire already passed out and stuff like that. I felt like Luke Shaw first touch wasn't even that great. And I was telling my cousin Luke Shaw's touch not even that great, but he was able to control it and keep it moving. And all of a sudden he scores, and I'm thinking, whoa, what's happening? And it was just electric and everything. But I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, because as soon as he scored, I felt like we just went into our shell. Obviously we're 1-0 up now, and obviously we've been hard to break down all season, not all season, but all tournament. So I don't know if that contributed in just everyone just going into their shell and just really giving Italy the allowance to go on the front foot throughout. Literally, obviously England played probably better in the first half anyway, because it was probably more constructed about the way they were doing it. But as the game got longer and longer, the game was going on and on. Italy would just continue, because you knew they were going to score. And once Italy got the goal, because that's how they've been playing literally all game, it was always going to be hard for England to literally come out, and it was going to take a special goal for someone special to do something special, literally, for us to win the game. But obviously we get to the penalty shootout. But yeah, I just didn't really like just sitting back. I wanted us to go for a second, anything up. They've literally just conceded straight away. Let's get a second quickly, and then we can go into sitting back and everything. But yeah, penalties were just devastating. And yeah.
Honestly, like obviously I'm gonna get to the penalties, but yeah, like I totally agree with what you said just now. Obviously, England started off better. First half, they should have like took their chances, but then as it cruised into the second half, like Italy took lead and Italy had more possession, they had more shots on target. You just knew it was coming even before Bonucci scored. Like you just knew like chance after chance. Like Chiesa had a couple of chances. Like Insigne had a shot or two. You just knew it was coming. But obviously, England, prior to this game, England had only conceded one goal, which was in the semis against Denmark. But I just felt like they were a rock at the back. But you just knew it was going to happen. Obviously, I didn't want it to obviously to go into extra time or penalties because Italy do have a good history of like
Penalty
beating teams
shootouts.
in the penalties because they did beat England in the penalties.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I remember that. I
was it
remember that. I don't know if it was the
was
Euros
it
as well.
2012? I think it was Euro 2012 when Pirlo done a Pineka
Yeah,
against
and actually,
Car.
I just remember Ashley Young and Ashley Cole missing. That's
Yeah. So yeah, but then obviously England we're talking about penalties, but really and truly, England did have 120 minutes before the penalties to finish off the game. So really and truly, we can't blame the players for missing the penalties. But yeah, coming on to the penalties, obviously, how did you think it played out? Obviously, the likes of Rashford and Sancho, who had just come off the bench a minute before the whistle had blown, and obviously Saka, the 19-year-old who took the fifth penalty. And the fifth penalty, we associate that with like the best player in the team.
I
Like it's the most vital penalty because obviously it can win you the trophy. But yeah, what was your like thoughts and feelings regarding that?
Like it was the whole shootout was even confusing. Even like obviously Maguire scored. Like even to see him step up, it was just everything was just confusing about it. Um Saka, 19 years old, to take penalty five. Like I just for me, it was someone like Sterling or Jack Grealish has to step up there, like and say, no, this guy's a kid. He hasn't taken a penalty for Arsenal. Like he can't be taking such a crucial like pressure penalty. Penalty five is someone you need to score that penalty. Like someone that has experience needs to take that penalty. Sancho, I don't really know a lot about if he takes penalties at Dortmund. So I don't, and he's young as well himself. He's 20, so I don't know if that was the right thing as well. And then obviously Rashford's with Rashford, it was just unlucky. But the run up was different. Like I seen like the run up was different to Colombia when he took his penalty against Colombia. He just changed something different. And I don't know if that played into the hands and he just missed. But everything about it was just weird. Like and yeah, like. And obviously Donnarumma he's a big keeper, he's a giant keeper. Like if you're like we need guys that are gonna slot it past him. If you're gonna like take a penalty, you have to slot it. But if he goes the right way, you have to slot it past him. And yeah, like I just feel like the whole order was just wrong. Just yeah, really, and just unlucky as
Honestly,
well. And it's very unlucky as well. Obviously, penalties is a lot. It's like 50-50 chance as well. It's very unlucky.
yeah,
I just feel like Pickford done really well. Like I feel like he had a very good tournament as well. And yeah,
yeah.
like to pull off that save against Jorginho to even give us life, like he deserves a lot of credit. Yeah.
Honestly, like I know Saka's a 19-year-old and whatnot, but honestly, even Ian Wright said it like on ITV. He was just saying like if you're like good enough, you're old enough, like age doesn't really come into it. Like obviously Gareth must be trusting Saka to give him a crucial like fifth penalty to take. But yeah, like and Grealish himself like came out yesterday on Twitter, like social media saying that like he don't agree with what Roy Keane said about him being more experienced, him like taking the lead and taking a penalty himself. But yeah, Grealish said like he wanted to obviously take a penalty, but it went in his hands. At the end of the day, it's the manager that makes the decisions. And obviously, I think Gareth Southgate in his press conference was saying the penalty takers were based down on like training performances and who scored mainly in training. So I feel like obviously the likes of Rashford, Sancho, and Saka must have impressed in training and must have like dispatched all of their penalties. But even Rashford was saying like he usually scores all of his penalties in training, but when it came down to the actual moment, like he obviously missed.
We
Even
know Rashford can do it as well because he scored so many pressure penalties. Like we've seen it. And
yeah,
a lot of people are saying, because they brought Sancho and Rashford on with 2 minutes left. Like a lot of managers do that. I've seen that so many times. I don't feel like that was the effect. Like I just felt like, obviously, yeah, and I get what you mean as well. Saka, like what Ian Wright said, like if you're old enough, and plus he definitely probably wanted to take one. So like, if you want to take one, it gives the manager confidence in you. Like, yeah, you want players that want to actually take one. So you must have probably wanted to take one and was impressing in the training pitch. But like, you have to actually I slightly agree with Roy because you have to actually deep the whole scenario. Like, is the Euro final is a pressure penalty? The guy is 19. Like, I know he's so young. Like, and the thing is, see with Jack Grealish as well. I saw something that he hasn't even. I don't know if he hasn't taken a penalty in 2 years or something. That hasn't scored the penalty.
yeah. I think that's not the. I think not last season. The season before was the last time he took a penalty for
Like,
Aston Villa.
it's just all. I don't know if these are just all excuses or I don't know. Like, just I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I just feel like someone like Grealish, just older, like should take that penalty. Like, I don't feel like Saka, someone that has never taken a penalty for Arsenal, should be taking a pressure penalty for us. That's how I just felt. But yeah, I do understand that what Ian said and stuff. But yeah,
But all credits to Saka,
yeah,
Rashford, and Sancho who wanted to actually step up because
yeah,
it's not easy. Like it is only 12 yards, but you have to aim, you have to actually be mentally ready to even take one.
definitely.
Um, but yeah, like obviously the other players must have not been confident enough to like, obviously want to take one. But obviously talking about senior players, the likes of obviously Sterling, Shaw, Stones, Grealish, like you have to give credit to Saka. Obviously, if Saka had scored that penalty, he would have been the hero. But right now he's the villain. Like that's the highs and lows of football. Like we just gotta face it. But what I don't really tolerate and agree with is the racism that like these players have been receiving on social media. It's just like I understand like people have passion for football, like me and yourself, like we have passion for football. Um when our clubs or the like home nation don't win, like it does affect us. Um but racism, like that's just I feel like that's just extreme. Like it shouldn't lead to racism. Like
And
at the
and
end of the day, where there it's a country like Saka, Rashford, uh, and Sancho, like they may not originally be from England, but they're still playing for the home nation. Like they should still to be together. Like I don't understand this like backlash of racism that they're receiving on their social media accounts. It just doesn't add up one bit.
I watched Gary Neville. I don't know if you've seen it, but I watched Gary Neville's. I think he had an interview on Sky News. I don't know if it was Sky News, Sky Sports News. Yeah, he just hit it on the nail point. You knew as soon as them three missed the penalty, you just knew what was coming. And it's like these like leaders and stuff like that will come out and start start tweeting stuff and tweeting sorry stuff and this and that. But then at the end of the day, when everyone's trying to take the knee and that, they're not really like backing it. So it's like you don't. It's like you see these things and then like you're not surprised that it happens. So like it just shows the true colors of the nation, shows the true colors of people in general. Yeah, like
Yeah,
go for like Rashford and that, just having someone that's fed children and doing things for people and stuff like that, doing things out of love and stuff like that. But then he misses one penalty and then everyone goes back on against him and then it starts racially abusing him again. Like you just know like it's just the same old and it's like when will it ever change? That's what
yeah. It's like people are only with you when you're winning. When you're losing, like no one's there to
yeah.
support you.
Because
Like,
imagine
everyone's
now it's like you see it now, like did we actually deserve to win that now? And
yeah. Now you see the true colors of like the like England fans. You can say like because at the end of the day, it was England fans. It was England fans being racist to the individual footballers. It was England fans attacking Italian fans. Like it's just like all of this is just like unnecessary. And like even I was like talking to a friend as well. Like he was saying like maybe it's a good thing England didn't win because England don't deserve it.
After
Like
that, definitely.
yeah, after seeing like all of this like chaotic stuff that's been going on, like all this chaos, it's just like, do they even deserve it? Like
Mm.
I understand like obviously the players are doing it like for the nation, but it's like the nation are just like not helping them one bit. It's just like they're just letting them down with all this like behavior, and even like fans attacking the police at the start of the game, trying to get into the stadium without tickets. It's just like, could we not like act like normal like
So
civilians and human beings? Like
literally.
it's a big like final. Like what is it like 55 years ago? Like first time in 55 years or something.
And
Um,
and
and
what's
it's just like you're acting like this. Like
and what's it what
it just
what
puts a bad name on England in
what I find
general.
so sad is that the guys done so well. You get me? This year they done so well. Like we want to get them now to kick on for like the World Cup now. You get me? Like obviously, yeah, we're falling short again on penalties. Like we don't want to give up hope. Let's get them to kick on again, and then this happens. Like just a never-ending cycle. But yeah, just sad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Honestly, it was such a really good tournament from like start to finish. Obviously, the ending weren't a happy ending for us fans. Obviously, the Italians it was, but
no, we should
it
touch.
was still a good final. Like
We
it
should
was
touch
an entertaining final.
Italy a bit because they had a very good tournament. And I remember
Yeah,
from the very beginning when they faced Turkey that these guys are ones to watch because the way they played from the beginning, like they were just ones to watch throughout. And yeah, they had this
yeah,
that Spinazzola guy, that left back. I felt sorry when he got in.
yeah.
He had the tournament.
Talking about like players and individuals, obviously, there was like a couple of like nominees for like play of the tournament, but I think Donnarumma like snatched it at the end. But the likes of Sterling, Kane, Locatelli, obviously Donnarumma, Chiesa, Pedri, Chiellini, Bonucci, Pickford, like a lot of like players had a really good tournament. Like you can like obviously name a couple there, but who like stood out for you apart from the likes of like Spinazzola? Like who else like stood out for you?
That Chiesa guy, he like
Yeah,
that guy was even in the final. So he was a threat every time.
very lively.
Every time you got the ball, like you could see, even when he came off, you could see like the relief it had when he came off. Like he just like he was serious. Who else had a good? He won tournament, the player of the tournament. Like he just showed me this tournament that he's a serious goalkeeper and he's young as well. He's 22 and he's a serious goalkeeper. And like you wonder why like he's linked with PSG and he's gonna get that move soon. Like he's a serious top goalkeeper. Sterling had the tournament. I had Sterling in my team to actually to begin with, where a lot of people I knew didn't have him in his team, obviously because of the season that he had with Manchester City. But boy, Sterling turned up, man. Like he turned up when he needed to turn up. Kane had like probably a slow start, but obviously he got the goals. A bit disappointing in the final, but like he got the goals and yeah, he proved a bit of people wrong. And people were just tarnishing his name and stuff like that. But yeah, what other players was there?
Obviously, the rock at the back with obviously the partnership, Chiellini and Bonucci, like they were really solid. The 34 and 36, like can you believe it? They went quarterfinals. They like what was it like 120 minutes? Semi-finals like 120 minutes, 90 minutes. The final as well, like 120 minutes. Like the legs, like honestly, they're both
they're battlers. When they go out on the pitch, they go out to war. Like they're going out to war. Chiellini and Bonucci.
I think you was mentioning obviously the picture that's like doing the papers. The picture of like obviously Chiellini.
That destroys me.
It's just like the guy has no remorse.
The guy he's how is he doing that to another human? Like I have to take the picture.
And that's the mentality you should be having. He's a natural winner. Like honestly, you got to give the Italians credit for the way they played. Obviously,
They got so much passion as well. Like every time
yeah,
on, like there's so much passion in the camp. Mancini, like, what's their record again? They've gone like 34 games or something silly like that, like unbeat, like without a defeat or something like that. Like they got,
yeah. Since obviously Mancini's like took over or something like that, like it's a really good stat.
and the way
Um,
they play the game, like the pressing game is like, oh no, the Italy, they deserve to win Euros. They were good, very good.
yeah. Obviously, the dark horses of the tournament. I want to get on to Denmark before I go into Denmark. I want to give like my appreciation to Christian Eriksen. Hopefully, he gets well soon. And obviously, he did used to play for your beloved Spurs. So, do you want to like put a word in for him?
Yeah, nah. When I saw that moment, I was so shocked. I was thinking, whoa, and I was watching him as well, and he was literally running, and then he literally just collapsed, and I was thinking like, what's going on? What's going on? And even the BBC team, like what they were doing, like the people, where the cameras were, it shouldn't have been there. Like the Denmark players had to like cover over Ericsson, but I was just happy that Ericsson was okay in the end. Like it was like probably a couple hours. Like you're just thinking, please God, like don't let anything happen to Ericsson, please, because like we saw happen a few years ago to Fabrice Muamba at White Hart Lane as well, and hope and thankfully like everything went fine with him. So yeah, I was just happy to see that Ericsson was able to like to say like yeah like continue going on, like was able to speak and just like yeah just the fact that he was breathing again, I was just so relieved. And yeah, obviously
Yeah,
it might affect him playing football again, probably, and he might not be able to play football again. But the main thing was it wasn't even about the tournament. Like no one cared about Euros at that moment. It was all about
yeah,
Ericsson, like the being of Ericsson, and I was just thankful that yeah, like after there was such a scary moment for me personally as well.
yeah.
Because yeah,
It
like
was
life.
honestly, it was a really like it was. I was shocked. Like literally,
Oh,
1 minute I was just watching a game, and then next minute like Denmark have a throw in, and then the camera like pans out, and then it comes back into shot, and then like Ericsson's there trying to like chest the ball down, but then while he's on the way to chest the ball, like he just collapses, and then like there was like no one around him as well. I was just like, that's not normal. And then the camera like went away again, and then it came back, and then I was like, wait, what the hell? Like, why is he just lying down on the floor? Like, it can't be his knee because no one like tackled him or fouled him. Like, no one was around him at the time. And then obviously, like when like obviously the BBC production, like when like the crew like proper zoomed into his face, like I can just see um
he was,
like I was just
yeah,
like, oh,
eyes weren't even, it was scary. Like it seemed like he was actually lying there, dead. It was so scary.
yeah.
Like it was just so scary, man.
I was just like, oh no, like once they start doing like tests as well, like I was like CRI,
Yeah.
like I was like, no, like no, that can't be real. And then yeah, like
And you
like
can see his
thankfully,
wife as well, like they put on his wife crying. Oh, that moment was just too much. And I just thank God that everything, like it was like nothing worse happened, like nothing tragic.
yeah,
Because the tournament would have probably definitely got called off because no one was
yeah.
caring right for the tournament.
Respect to the Danish players as well, who obviously lined up in front of him as well to like obviously block off anyone from seeing those like horrible pictures. But yeah, like overall, like yeah, just thankful that he's healthy and state in a stable condition right now. Obviously, we don't know whether he will be able to like play football ever again, but we wish him luck for the rest of his life and his career. But yeah, Denmark, like they had a really good tournament as well, even like without one of their best players in Ericsson as well, like the likes of Damsgaard, like yeah, like what was your thoughts and feelings regarding Denmark and
Like,
how
they didn't have the
they
greatest
played?
of starts, 2 defeats, but they were able to
Yeah,
bounce back. They were able to bounce back, and yeah, like, I felt like they definitely made Ericsson proud to get to the semi-finals, and yeah, to do what they did was very very remarkable, especially from the beginning that they had. So yeah, I felt like they had a very good tournament, and yeah, even
yeah.
they scored in the semi-final, like yeah, they done. They done what their
They
thing.
were a really good like team. They had a really good like defense. Like they were a unit. Yeah, from goalkeeper to striker, like the work rate that they caused England problems as well. Um, but yeah, like another nation that like was dark horses as well was Czech Republic.
Yeah, I forgot about them.
Like obviously they had a really good like successful tournament as well. Um,
That
but
goal. I remember that goal against Scotland. The guy,
yeah, Patrick Schick from his own was it his own half, wasn't it?
yeah, literally, basically just in their half, I think, and he just hit it first time and had the goalkeeper scrambling. That was a serious goal.
Yeah,
Probably
they
what.
had another good tournament, so credits to them as well. But obviously, the disappointments of the tournament was obviously the likes of France, Portugal, and Germany. Obviously, who England beat. We
Mm,
were actually like so happy that obviously England had one over Germany. Obviously, going back to the 2010 World Cup, when obviously Frank Lampard had his goal disallowed as well. Obviously, it was a really like successful victory over the Germans, but
Wait,
obviously it don't mean anything if you haven't like won the like tournament itself. But yeah, what was your like feelings towards like obviously the big size like France, Portugal, and Germany?
yeah, no, with Germany, I felt like it was for England in general. I still feel like it was definitely a massive hurdle because there's so many tournaments after tournament after tournament after tournament I've seen where we'll come up against Germany with the likes of Italy, or just one of these big nations, and it's game over like somehow like. So to be able to overcome that finally like was very good because I feel like we know that going into the next competition that we are capable of beating these sides in a knockout phase. So that was very big in terms of that. With France, I was very like surprised the way they got knocked out. Obviously, Mbappe missed his a vital penalty himself to get which would have kept France in the game. Obviously, Sommer was really up for it for penalties. I feel like he had a good tournament as well. But yeah, like Switzerland really did well as well. Like Shaqiri's always one of them ones. He just has this fire in him for tournaments. He always has a
Yeah,
goal in
he
him.
always does. He always does, especially Euros.
He pulls it out of the blue. Like it's just like yeah, he.
Even Xhaka had a really good like tournament as well.
Yeah, Xhaka, yeah. He normally plays well for Switzerland. Like he normally does his thing for Switzerland. Yeah, but yeah, France was very like it was very disappointing because they were my favorites, and to get knocked out where they got knocked out was like definitely must have been a disappointment. But I feel like they'll definitely try and kick on again. They got the players there, so they'll
Yeah.
be up there as favorites. And who else was there? There was Portugal and Spain. Spain, I felt like Spain had a good tournament. They just lacked a number 9. Like they just really lacked a number 9 to like just like obviously they did get a lot of goals, but I don't feel like Morata's the answer for them.
It isn't,
He's
isn't he?
the answer for them. Yeah, so but I felt like playing wise, like their passing, their possession game, like I felt like like it was good on the eye to watch, and I felt like they knew what they were doing, and they got very unlucky if you think about it, because they did lose on penalties to Italy, and I felt like in extra time they did have the ascendancy as well. They were the team that looked like that they were gonna go and win the game. But obviously, yeah, disappointed. But I feel like they're ones that no one's gonna really think about for the next tournament that we should have our eye on Spain, especially if they just find a number 9 out of the blue. And I remember you were saying as well that you were talking about the Pedri guy earlier. This is my
Yeah.
first tournament. I've never seen him until this tournament, so I didn't know about him that much. But when I saw him, like he's really a really good young player, and yeah, I feel like he'll have a good season at Barcelona ahead of him. Definitely.
Yeah, obviously they were comparing him to the likes of like Xavi and obviously Iniesta as well. So
I
no pressure.
You know what's so funny? I actually get that. Do you know why? Because I saw a bit of what he was doing, a bit of the passes he was threading through this tournament, and they were actually like similar. Like so, like I get why he's getting this comparison. He needs to just be consistent, just do what he needs to do, and he definitely has a bright future ahead of him. Definitely.
Yeah, obviously looking back on the like tournament, it was the really like successful tournament, obviously for some and not for some as well. But yeah, just before we like wrap up, a quick mention about the transfers that are like taken place or have taken place. Obviously, Jadon Sancho is close to a move to Manchester United, which obviously at first I weren't like too sure about. Like, obviously, as I said in like previous shows, because it might affect Greenwood, and we need like a centre back, and we need a striker more than we need a right winger. But Jadon Sancho obviously is off to Man United. Sergio Ramos is just signed for PSG. Donnarumma is on the verge of signing for Paris Saint-Germain as well. Wijnaldum is signed for PSG. Hakimi has signed for PSG as well. So they're doing quite a bit of business.
Serious business in the market.
And then obviously the likes of Depay and Aguero have signed on free transfers for Barcelona. So yeah, what do you think about those transfers that are like taken place or took place?
Obviously you can see that PSG are really trying to be a force in Europe to reckon with. Like, they're not playing games for next season. They are trying to break that curse of not being able to lift that Champions League trophy. Obviously, they've just lost out on the title as well, so they'll definitely want to regain the title back. So PSG and signings they've made, serious signings under Pochettino as well. We all know the style Pochettino plays, and these are the sort of caliber of players that he might need. And even just the influences, even Sergio Ramos is not probably the player he is, but just the influence he'll have in the dressing room could be huge, because he's just a winner, someone that's won so much Champions League titles upon titles. You need those type of players in the dressing room. So I feel like PSG are a force to definitely be reckoned with. Barcelona are definitely a transitioning side, because so many things are going on in Barcelona. Like the whole, like they need a new, like they're going to be a whole new look. Barcelona, the Aguero, the Depay, I like it. The Agueros obviously could bring something to them. I forgot who else there with. Obviously, Pedri's bright, so that one I'm looking forward to seeing as well. So yeah, like the signings, they're looking forward. I've been looking at who Tottenham have been linked to. We've been linked with a few centre backs ourselves. That Vestergaard guy from Southampton. I want him. I would like to see him at Tottenham. Yeah, like I just can't.
He had a really good tournament. Obviously, Denmark as well. Obviously, you're linked with his countryman Anderson as well, Joachim Anderson. So what do you think about him as well?
Yeah, no, definitely. These are the caliber. Like, we need to kick on from last season, like because of the disappointments of last season. So these are the caliber of players that obviously I would want us to get done. I don't want it just to be us being linked with them and you don't see anything happening.
I think you guys are linked in with a Japanese centre back as well, if I'm not wrong.
I think so.
A bid was turned down recently.
And I know we're linked with that Inter Milan centre back as well. I can't remember his name.
Grenier.
Yeah. I think it's him. I think we're linked with him as well. And yeah, like we can see we're linked with so many centre backs, because obviously the defense has been horrid over the last few years. But one I definitely like to see for Spurs is Vestergaard, because obviously I've seen him in the Premier League and I've seen him this Euros as well. The guy's like, he just reminds me a bit of Van Dijk. He's not Van Dijk.
Premier League proven, and like he is what you guys like really need at the back.
For me, he improves our defense. But yeah, he improves our defense.
Yeah. So yeah, good luck to all those sides, and obviously at club level and country level. Obviously, the World Cup is in around 500 days or so next year, November, December time. So yeah, hopefully it actually comes home this time. Obviously you had the Italians like mocking it. But
hey, what? Yeah, it's going to Rome. I said it's going to Rome.
Yeah, so hopefully it does actually come home. Yeah, this was just a wrap up of obviously the Euros. Yeah, we were so happy to be back. We're just excited to get back. Obviously, we should be back once the new season comes back up and running. Yeah, we want to try and do something different. Obviously, this specific show, it may come out differently. Obviously, due to technical issues, but that should be resolved in the future. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't watched previous episodes, please go back and watch them. And yeah, thank you to Jojo yourself yet again for being with me since the start of obviously this whole project. And yeah, thank you guys. Take care, and we'll be back soon. We're out.
I'm wearing my jacket, but bullshit, I'm still too cold. Man, I fucked your bitch, she filled that from her head to toes. I need this guap.